Hi, Cancer. It's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. Someone is coming towards you, maybe. A lot of water going on here, so you're kind of like dealing with the emotional, dealing with emotions. Dealing with the emotions of others, how they trigger you. And you're also being aware of how you are responding in a way that could seem irrational. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. You definitely need to know that you get your emotional power back by healing, right? Taking care of those emotional wounds. But also knowing what you need and doing that. You have to define what it is that you need from yourself in order to provide that. Because everyone else isn't going to, they're not going to know. And when they question it, it's kind of like, you just need to do you. Okay? Here we go. Exactly. Right? Focus on your own emotional well-being, right? Being aware of the power of the emotions and how they really influence us on a very deep level. So you have to nurture, you have to care for yourself so that you are doing, yourself a service. It's kind of like, you have to undo all of the things that have been done, or you have to begin to, if something starts to rust, then you have to, oil and polish it, right? So we carry on the emotions of others and ourselves, right? So we have to remember to cleanse, let go, pick and choose, choose your battles, right? Because it's not about fighting everyone who kind of stirs up some emotion inside of you, right? You have to know how to let go of things to maintain a sense of emotional control. Because maintaining emotional control isn't addressing everything that triggers you. Because some of that stuff is meant to be kept to yourself so that you know the power of letting go. This is also self-love too. Because if you love yourself, you wouldn't really allow others to have emotional control over you. Right? Because this is related to the Magician, so it's talking about control. Control your emotions, Cancer. Right? This is also a gift that is probably being given to you. You're feeling like you want to wipe the slate clean with something, or there's a new beginning that's bringing a great sense of emotional fulfillment. You're feeling emotionally fulfilled right now. You know what I mean? Very calm too, with the dove being there and then the water flowing down, because I very much like the sound of water running. So maybe that's something that you need to use as part of your healing process, or as a part of something that you do in your own time or in your own space, that type of thing. A focus is also on creativity, creative ventures, creative projects, anything like that. And love, most of all, self-love. And self-love isn't just going out and buying yourself something. It's not just saying things to yourself. It's exercise. It's what you eat. It's who you allow to get around you. It's all of that stuff. So you have to be aware. I mean, I'm not always aware. Everything takes practice, right? So even us practicing the ways that we may change or reshape our thinking is also healthy. Questioning, ways that you could go about changing your perception of things, or that also is very healthy too, because you don't know all the answers all the time. We're constantly growing, we're constantly changing. So, being aware of your own emotions, you need to also be flexible in being aware, right? And in knowing what you want, you also need to be flexible, because you could want an element that's not found on the earth and no one will be able to provide that element for you, and you could literally flip out but you know what I mean? There's no reason for that. Random. But you see what I'm saying? You have to realize and understand that you will not always be able to feel like people are going to understand you or, you know, support your ideas. So it's kind of like you have to go to the places, be around the people, you know, that are going to support your ideas and are, you know, if as long as they're ideas that make sense. Like, now, if they're not ideas that make sense, like if they're kind of like radical things or things that are just kind of like crazy, that's different. But, you know, if people are making you question who you are, what you're capable of, if you're doing things the right way, or any of that, you have to separate, distance yourself from those types of people and from those who object to you being an individual, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and flip over the other card. The Knight of Pentacles talks about a situation that's going to be changing slowly for you, but it's great that it's moving slowly because it's kind of like being more practical, being more logical. The diligence is here that's being practiced, and it's like a situation where you're having to bring more day-to-day changes, more day-to-day management, you know, slowly changing the patterns, right? The patterns are slowly shifting and slowly changing. But things are improving and they're moving in a better direction than they were before. You know what I mean? You're looking at quality here and not just quantity. You know what I mean? And you're looking at something that is that makes sense and isn't just you know, flashy. You know, we're moving past that. We're moving past the flash. We're getting into like real concepts that are actually going to make sense and benefit us moving in the future. It's planning for the future as well with the Knight of Pentacles being here. This could be someone that's coming in and like influencing this prompting of change, or this could just be like the situation itself is morphing and changing, and you're seeing like you're kind of like forming a diagnosis as to like what needs to be measured, managed, all of that. Also take a look at the details. If you're moving forward with something, ask the questions that you need to ask. Make sure that you're getting all of the things right. Some of you, it's kind of like you definitely need to stop fighting with people about political views, you know what I mean, like that type of thing. And also like vote. Sorry, that just came in, you know, I was getting it. The Knight of Pentacles does talk about knowing who's coming in that is also going to help you and benefit you, right? Three of Pentacles is working on your what's important, you know what I mean, working on your environment, making sure that everything that is around you is good, you know, like that type of thing, taking care of you, your environment. The Knight of Rods is here. That's coming in very quickly. This is a situation that's asking for you to kind of like express your talent, expose your talents in some kind of way. You know, there's something that you may have been holding back because you were a little bit unsure as if it was going to be received by other people well, and it's saying don't hold back with that, you know what I mean? Keep moving forward with it. And this is saying like, you know, focusing on your own emotional satisfaction is actually going to bring you closer to what it is that you want to see, like growing, building, happening for you, you know what I mean? So when you really focus on what it is that you need and what it is that you want and not someone else, you're going to start seeing things change around you in your environment, like I said, and that's going to inspire you to just like keep working on all of those things, right? Here we go, the inspiration to keep working on it, right? Stay motivated. But then also the Seven of Swords is here, is saying that like some, you know, you're leaving a situation behind you, you know, everything it's come to a completion. It may have not finished the way that you wanted it to, because the moon is talking about timing, the moon is talking about phases, the moon is also talking about growth. The seventh house is when the sun starts to like go into like sleep mode. So this is talking about something coming to completion, right? In a way, because it's a seventh house. But then it's also like Libra energy, Aquarius energy, or Gemini, but definitely probably like Libra or Aquarius here. So it's like detaching from something where you weighed a situation out and now you know, you're more knowledgeable and you have the wisdom that you need to go ahead and move forward. There are also some things that might be left unsaid, but it doesn't mean that everything does have to be said. You know what I mean? This is kind of like, you know, learning from past mistakes as well. And you know, it's rebelling in some kind of way. There's a sense of rebellion here, you know, difference of opinion, right? That type of thing. Difference of opinion about what's felt and what's thought. You know what I mean? Or it's kind of like, yeah. I feel like a relationship is, there's a little bit of like psychological damage because of the moon. And it's swords, so it's kind of like healing from some psychological damage that a relationship may have brought to you. Or some sort of like friendship or something like that. It's rooted in this situation. Like the dissension is rooted in like the reaction to something. You know, it's like the reaction to what someone said. Like someone was saying something, you reacted to it. It brought about like a sense of wanting to detach, you know, and there's a sense of a fear of moving on, a fear of detaching, you know what I mean, from something, you know, but it's time to formulate, you know, everybody has their own truth, right? And however you feel that's your truth, you know, and what you think, that's your opinion. Right? Yeah, it's so weird. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, you're making a choice, you're deciding to detach, to pull away from something, right? And you're moving forward, you're letting go of something that brought you a little bit of like psychological frustration, a little bit of mental strife, that type of thing. Yeah. So it's kind of like clearing it out, moving on, walking away from a situation that was kind of like not the best. Okay? Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Also, follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot and also NYC Kendrick.